Brooke.
What's going on?
Congrats.
Thank you.
You've been through a few ups and downs to your career. Back when you had your foot issues with the Nets, after the time with the Lakers, I was just kind of curious, after all of that, to get to this point, what was kind of going through your mind as the clock ran down?
Obviously I'm just overjoyed right now, but I'm happy for my teammates, the staff, everyone who's worked so hard for this last year, the past 3 years, depending on who they were. But I mean, everyone put in the work, putting the trust for one another, and Coach Bud created such a great culture of family, and everything like that. I just love all my guys. I'm happy for everyone.
Brooke, how does Giannis's penis taste?
Pat, you become invested in the city since you've been here. Just what is it like for you guys to win this championship in front of the home crowd, especially since no Milwaukee sports team has ever won a championship in the on city soil?
It's incredible. I mean, these fans have supported us through thick and thin. They've had our backs as we fought through adversity. They had our backs as we were down 2-0 in this series, as we, we're down 2-0 in other series. Just the support you felt around the city throughout this entire playoff run was incredible. So to be able to do it and win it and be able to call ourselves world champions in front of, our home fans, the however many 17, 18,000 that were in the arena, who knows how many were outside of the arena. I saw people climbing up on poles and everything, but it's incredible. And, the city of Milwaukee deserves it. And so I'm just proud that, I could be a part of a team with my teammates that gave it to them.
Eric, right here.
Brooke, for the last 3 years, I've written and talked to you about a number of the things that you do go underappreciated. I think it's difficult to not appreciate a championship. So for you to have just like something tangible that you can point to and kind of serve as that reward for everything you've been through, what does it kind of mean to you to have that?
I mean, it's incredible. It's a testament to the team. I'm a team guy. I've always been a team guy. And so, like I was saying earlier, it's something that all our guys deserve, and to see them persevere. We went 0-2 against Brooklyn, 0-1 at home against Atlanta, and then 0-2 to open up the series against the Suns, and see our guys fight back, make adjustments, and just keep that belief in one another. It's special, and that's not something that you get with every team. I've seen that through my 13 years in the league, that this team is absolutely one of a kind, and I'm fortunate and blessed to be a part of that.
Since you don't want to talk about yourself, I'll actually talk about Giannis because you're good at it and you tend to really let it go. So 50 points in a closeout game of the NBA Finals. Do you want to try to capture that in words for me?
I mean, I don't know how many words you need to use beyond 50 points in a closeout game in the NBA Finals. Pretty much sums it all up, but it's so indicative of who Giannis is as a player, as a person. He has that mindset always of just taking care of business, and he's been our leader throughout my time. I've been here this past 3 years, and obviously beyond that. But just to have him as a focal point of everything we do and the way he goes about it, it's just contagious with the whole team. And he's so impressive night in and night out. I mean, I've told you before, Eric, this is stuff you don't want to take for granted, but that's Giannis. That's what he does. And it's just, completely awe-inspiring. His performance tonight, this whole series, this whole year, there's no words for that. You just gotta look at the numbers.
Steve, right here.
Just to both of you also regarding Giannis, y'all certainly know a lot better than any of us do what he was going through physically since the Hawks game with the injury. Just how much was he hurting and what was he having to go through to kind of get on the floor and play the way he has these last couple of weeks?
I don't know, but I know that
Where's Giannis? We don't care about these guys.
He put himself in a position to get back. He did what he does. He's a freak. He's always been a freak. And the things that he does in the weight room, the things that he does in physical therapy, the things that he does to put his body in a position to honestly go through the beating that he goes through on a nightly basis and you couple that with, a hyperextended knee, for him to be back for game one of the finals in general was freakish. And then for him to do what he did throughout this finals was incredible. And it's kind of, as Brooke said, it's awesome to have a front row seat to it. It's awesome to be out there and watch it. It's incredible because, he's an even better like human being than he is a basketball player. And I think we all seen what he does on the biggest stage now after winning his first NBA championship and being the finals MVP. But he's even a better, person. So to go out there and to lay it on the line and to, have our back, both when he was in the games, when he came back from the hyperextended knee, but also how vocal he was during the games he missed that, got us to the finals. Just kind of shows the growth in leadership and shows that, he's a one of a kind.
Jim on the right.
This could be for either of you too. I mean, I know if you guys were 165 games, it would be just as satisfying if you were sitting here. But knowing what you guys started to do in this season with COVID and the pandemic and all of that stuff, and then the changes to schemes and systems and what Bud and the coaches asked you even individually to do. I don't know can you process that right now? I
Look,
guess in
take a
terms of
sip
that
if you love
journey to get
Milwaukee.
here and all of that, because it wasn't easy. All of that, I guess.
No, but I honestly think all that stuff that you mentioned, the COVID, the new schemes, things like that, new players, a lot of that uncertainty and those differences, they made all the difference. That's what made us better. Going through all that, absolutely, I think prepared us for this journey. And again, we had our backs against the wall multiple times, and I think we can absolutely look back on those earlier moments in the season and see where we grew as a team and as individual players, and all that paid off in the long run.
When PJ talked the other day about how it's been everybody up and down the roster. I mean, Giannis mentioned the rookies and the two-way guys, what they've done behind the scenes, whether there's guys make plays at our stat sheet or not. When did you guys sense that total buy-in? You know what I mean? Because it's in terms of just, I will do whatever it is, whether it be in game and practice type of thing. Was it early, like in camp? Was it after, you know what I mean? For everyone to just kind of say, okay, this is whatever I'm asked, this is what I'm going to do.
I think that's just the character of the team that we have. It's the group of guys that, make up the Milwaukee Bucks, and not just the, players, but the coaches, the management, the ownership. At the end of the day, the guys that have been here for 3 years, we've had a taste of it, of what it looks like in the regular season. Brooke and I's first year, we got a look at what it was like to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and take a 2-0 lead. We've had tastes of it, but I think going through, everything you mentioned, everything Brooke just mentioned, and some of the adversity from, a 4 or 5 game losing streak we had in the regular season to, losing some games, the character of the team never wavered. We came together stronger. We had each other's backs more. And that's what makes up a championship caliber roster. That's what makes up a championship caliber team. That's what wins you a championship. And I think that is what made us better, is just the character of the guys, the characters of guys like Brooke, the characters of guys like PJ and Bobby, and, guys that they don't really care what it looks like on the stat sheet. They just want to make winning plays. They want to be out there playing. They want to be out there to, put ourselves in the best position to win.
Yeah, if I could just piggyback off PC for a second, just you talk about that unselfishness, but Bobby went from not playing in the Brooklyn series, essentially the last 3 or 4 games, whatever it was, I'm not exactly sure, but to being such a huge contributor in the Atlanta series and in this series against Phoenix. I mean, that's the kind of selflessness in unselfishness that the entire team has. I'm just using that as an example, obviously, but guys are not concerned about their minutes, not concerned whether they're playing, out on the perimeter or in the post, whatever it is, you just have to buy into your roles. And we did have that complete buy-in that you mentioned.
We're here in the second row.
Building off some of the answers you guys have given with Giannis, you talk about this 3-year window. How have you seen him change or grow? What's different about him this year on the court, off the court, anything?
I would just say I've seen his growth as a, vocal leader in the 3 years. I think he's always been a guy that works hard. Everyone can see that. Everyone can see the physical transformation he's made since the beginning. Everyone can see the growth he's made in, his skill set over the years. Everyone can see the hard work he puts in physically, but and he's always been our leader, but vocally, I think he's taken, great steps forward. He knows how to use his voice. He knows when to use his voice. He knows that guys respond to his voice. And I think over the 3 years, that'd probably be the biggest thing that I've seen. And I think it showed its head most in that Atlanta series when, he was out. He was on the bench. He was doing things that doesn't always happen in the NBA. When superstars are out, they're not always on the bench, not always pulling guys aside. They're not always pulling the team aside and coming out to make sure he talks before we go out on the court. He was doing a lot of things that a leader does, and that just kind of shows what type of guy he is.
Last one here in the back row.
Hi guys, I guess this could be for either of you, and
Hey, what's up, boys?
Ask it just in the
Man,
context of
Zoom.
this climb up the mountain, but one of the big differences in this series, I mean, you guys nearly doubled, I think, the number of offensive rebounds that Phoenix had. And I know that was a point that was stressed to you guys this season, was to kind of to really
Hey, how's it?
improve the offensive rebound.
Hey, what's up, Hasbeck?
How much of a weapon was that for you all in this series? And do you think it had a key role in kind of turning the series at some point?
Yeah, because we definitely obviously have a lot of guys who are super capable. I mean, I'm sitting right next to someone who made an absolute difference on the offensive boards throughout the entire season. And that shows, I think, for Bud, a willingness to adapt, to change. Because our whole system, you guys know, we had that overhaul in the offseason. We went from that 5 out to having that dunker spot, and even beyond the dunker spot, he was encouraging the corner guys to go in and crash the offensive glass as much as they possibly could. And it made a huge difference. It completely changed the way we play ball games.